Welcome to episode number 4 of Empowered Podcast with Michael and Marilyn. I'm Michael,
and I'm Marilyn.
And today we are talking about a very special subject, lifelong friendships, what it means, and we're so fortunate today that I get to have my best friend that's been in my life for 31 plus years. And I can't wait to share that story, how we met, my friend Pam and Mara. Just someone that's been in my life for a very long time, and it's we're going to talk about the meaning of that, what that's provided, how we just went through life's journeys, and some years we didn't even talk, and then when we connected, it was like no space had evolved, and those relationships are so rare. So when Marilyn and I were talking about this concept for the show, it was instantly, I said, who's your bestie for life? And
I said, it's Mara. It's Mara, always. Mara Gardner. We met 25 years ago when she actually hired me to work for her. And we really only worked full time together for 2 years. But we have remained connected and grown together all these years, so we're still besties.
Now, do you guys know that we had the same birthday?
Who?
Marilyn
we do.
And I.
Seriously?
Yeah. That's why this whole thing got started.
Wow.
So that just flashed in my head that we could probably be besties too.
Yes, that's right.
When's
That's
your
right.
birthday?
April 15th.
Okay.
And when's yours?
February 25th.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like how this all got started was, or the idea when we started talking about it is recently my mom, she lost a lifelong, or her best friend that she grew up with, and I remember her too. They were always, doing everything together. I remember she used to love to clean. Her house was always like spotless, and her curvy vacuum. There's the things we remember when we were kids, right? And how mom and her used to just chit chat, and they were just best friends. And she found out several months ago that she had cancer, and she was gone in like 3 weeks. And I watched my mom sort of react to that. She started having panic attacks. She didn't go see her in the hospital, and she didn't actually go to her funeral. And today I asked Mom if I could actually share this story, and she said yes. So that's why I'm sharing this story today. It's kind of the context for how this happened, and why we wanted to have a conversation about what best friends mean. And so my mom just opened up to me today, and it was so amazing that she shared, that she didn't want to remember her like that, and on some level she knew that her friend didn't want mom to see her like that. Like there was just something energetic about it was what it was. And I saw another post during this time of another situation when my aunt passed away many years ago. My mom's sister, they're really close, and there was a post that someone had said, oh, Nelda was my best friend growing up, talking in reference to my Aunt Karen. And I asked Mom, like, whatever happened to her? And she's like, well, that was when we were growing up, and that was the life, and I grew up in the country, and everything was connected. But when my mom got a divorce and she left the country, she shared with me today that she left that behind. And they didn't have iPhones back then, and the communication wasn't as it is today, that's texting or staying in touch. But she said that she saw her at someone else's funeral a year ago, and it was like no time had passed, and it was connected. And we were talking about the memories and how memories are, stored in our brains. And recently, the whole world got to know that they're stored in our hippocampus.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Ford. And for that,
Right. How do you say that again?
because that's now burned in my brain.
Yeah.
So it was like that connection, and how that it never left, and why is it with certain people and not. Like when we met, I had just started my hair career. Like I was 19.
He is so young.
But
I'm a little bit older than he is, so.
Just a little bit. But we were doing this. It was my very first event. It was working for a color company. Matrix at the time. We were one of the first 50 people that got to work with them, and it was an extraordinary experience. I didn't even know at the time, but we were there, and I was so excited to be a part of this, and like working on stage with people, like education. It was really exciting. And Pam was at my very first training.
Right.
And I remember you, I remember Lynn, and I remember just wanting to fit in, like, really bad. I want to be hanging with these people. And I remember at the end of the evening, you come over to me and this may not be your memory, but this is my memory, okay?
Go for it.
Yeah, I want to know what your memory is, but
Okay, all right.
my memory is that you came right over and you looked me straight in the eyes. I swear to God, I will never forget it. And you was like, people that are older than you know when you're lying, so you don't need to do that anymore. And it was like, what? But it was like that was so true. Like, I was just, what's the saying? Fake it till you make it. I was doing that, and but everybody does,
Right.
But you saw right through that and saw that wasn't who I was, and like somehow connected to me on a level that I'd never had anybody really come straight to my face and say that before. So it was like,
So true.
okay, who are you? Okay, we're just gonna be friends forever. So
That's pretty much it.
So what's your take on that? Like,
well, that is pretty much exactly what happened. I just saw that his heart. That's what I saw, was your heart. And his mind was doing the controlling. And you were right when you said about just so the desire to fit in was so strong. And I could see that he was willing to do that in order to fit in, and I thought, you don't have to do that. And that was our first connection, and I call it a connection because that's what he needed. And immediately, what I would say today is, I was telling him, you just need to be you. You just need to be authentic.
And what a beautiful gift to give him. When in that moment he wasn't really sure that was going to work, and you let him know. You could see his heart.
Pam has always been that way. Always been that way with me through everything that we've ever experienced. You've always been.
Yeah, that's when you talked about that. Just not disconnect, but when your walk or your time is not lined up, and there is that separation for whatever season you're in, and I just know for me that, being able to see his heart like that, I knew that we could be friends, and that we could give each other things. Because that was pretty bold on my part. I typically didn't speak that boldly to people because, I don't even know why in that moment. I just know that. My inner voice said, you need to tell him he doesn't have to do that.
That changed the course of my life.
Right, and because I know it did.
It did.
I know it did, and because of that, we were always able to have a really authentic relationship.
We did.
Yeah, no matter what, whether we were really spending a lot of time together or no time or somewhere in between.
Wow, that never hit me till right now. That's.
Yeah.
Wow.
That it sounds a lot like us.
I was to say, it's that place that you can be you, the place that you can really be who you are.
How did you guys connect?
So Mara was a PT and I was a student. I was still in PTA, physical therapy assistant school, and she was already working as a PT. And I had an interview at Mercy or St. John's, and Mara was the person I was going to be working directly with, but my interview was with someone else, and she called Mara in for a few minutes, and I eventually got the job, and we've been buddies ever since.
That's right. Well, and during the interview, the person who was supervising had never worked in the hospital, so she didn't really understand exactly what I was looking for, and she was an OT as well.
Yes.
And she did the best she could with the situation, but in that situation, the questions she was asking weren't the right questions. So I just had 4 or 5 questions. She answered them. We instantly connected. It was that authentic.
Sure.
I just knew that I could say to her, you know, whatever I needed, and could you help me with this, and could we do this? And I just knew that she had the experience, she had the willingness to do that. And the gal kept saying to me, I don't even think we were in there for 5 minutes that I remember anyway. It felt like it was so quick. And I remember saying, hire her. She goes, well, we have another interview later today and one tomorrow. I said, I'm not going to come. I have patients to see. Hire her. And I said, she's going to be working with me, not you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the person I need. She's, compared to some of the new grads, you were older because you already had 4 kids and you had put yourself through, or you had worked with, you know, going through school with kids. I already knew she had experience and push, you know, the drive to do it. And plus we just connected.
We did.
You know, we just looked at each other and we just
great.
knew.
That's so great.
So she went and did another, and the other gal went and did another interview and then canceled the last one and hired her. So that worked out the best.
It was perfect.
It was perfect.
And we did. We instantly connected. We instantly could see what the other one was saying without even finishing our sentences.
Mm-hmm.
So we just worked really well together with all of our clients. It was neuro rehab, so they needed our hearts, and that's what we did too. We connected with our hearts, and we worked with these people. We worked with them as people.
We had a gentleman who was really cranky in the beginning, and I don't blame him for being cranky. It was a difficult situation, and it was just in outpatient rehab, and he was recovering from a stroke, and he was pretty cranky. You remember who I'm talking about? And one day I was working on him, and he goes, "Well, why are you just doing the right side?" I said, "Because she's going to do the left side." He looks at me and goes, "Well, you've been doing this longer." I said, "But she knows how to do it, and I'm going to be right here the whole time." And so he turns around afterwards, she does it, she goes, "She's better than you." I said, "Okay, great, I'm happy, my job here is done." So again, because we connected that way, and even the patients really enjoyed the laughter and that connection. They could see the connection.
Mm-hmm. It was an asset to their healing for us to have the connection we had in that situation. So
yeah. And at a crazy time in our life too.
Yes.
With our kids being younger and a lot of changes going on in the hospital, we would go at lunchtime and we would walk over as fast as we could to the fitness center, and then we would be on the treadmill talking about everything we could talk about, getting it out, and then we'd march right back over there and we'd start again. But we really supported each other and encouraged each other in all those things. But we've come a long way since then, when it was mostly just gripe sessions or what we needed to blow off steam.
Yeah. How has it evolved?
Well, we started out, like she said, we would vent all the things going on in our life with each other, and it was okay because we had similar things going on in our lives. And then as time went on, we realized we don't really have to do the complaining and the dumping. We can talk about what's going on, and the other one can help lift the other one up. And so we've done that for 25 years now. Our relationship is more high vibration. We call each other when we need help with energy work. When she's worried about her kids, I do distance work on her kids. When I'm worried about mine, she does distance work on mine. And we've just evolved to that level of just knowing what the other one needs and being there. I always answer the phone when she calls. She always answers when I call.
Do our best.
Yeah. But we can go for a long time and not see each other, and it doesn't matter. We know
because
we're still connected.
Yeah.
What a different connection for them. Because I was thinking about our connection. Because I mean, with that kind of boldness, I mean, it took a lot of love. I spoke to him in love when I said that.
Yes.
And I mean, our lives were completely different. I was married, I had a child. Here he was single, and I had already been in my career a bit. And I think about our connection.
And gay, when did I tell you I was gay? When did I come out to you?
Well, I knew.
I was going to say, she probably always knew.
I didn't.
I don't think you had to tell me. I knew, but
I don't remember though. It's like right now I don't remember how.
Well, that's funny because that's why I called you out. Because you were trying to present yourself as a straight guy.
Oh,
Because remember your boss, the gal? You were telling me she was your girlfriend.
Oh my God, Pam,
I
are
was
you
like,
serious?
Right.
Wow, talk about blocking out the memory. Yeah, I must have been in a space. Yeah.
Oh, you were in
Wow.
a space. That's why I was just
I don't
like,
even remember that.
But that's 30
well, see,
some
that's a
years ago.
little more of the story.
Wow.
Because you were wanting to fit in so bad.
Okay.
You know.
Wow.
Anyway.
No, I needed that. Yeah, I didn't have that memory. Wow.
So, but our
What a
lives are
gift to a
so, you know,
19-year-old.
I was heterosexual, he was homosexual, I was married, I had this kid, and he was just getting started. I was older, but, and I mean, our lives are, our connection is like so different. I mean,
Yeah.
the commonalities of the two of you with your, you know, married with your children and
Yeah.
I knew you
about the
before you
same
had-
age. Hmm?
I knew you before you had your first child. Like,
Yes,
and now she's.
31.
Oh my God, we have known each other more than 31 years. Okay, well, time just, yeah. Wow. Okay, I'm a little shook by that.
That's quite all right. When you were
It's
talking
okay.
about really lifting each other up,
Yes.
I just really felt like we always helped each other look at everything through different set of lenses.
Yeah.
We did.
Yes.
You know, because for most people, they like to have relationships that they have a lot in common. You know, that's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I would have people ask me, "Why are you friends with that guy?" It's like,
You did?
oh sure. In my straight world.
Oh my God. Well, it was such. I'm like right now, my head's spinning because I don't remember what that was like back then. Because I mean, that was a
Right.
completely different time.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Like I don't have a context for that, and I guess obviously I left that in the past. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But we were. But you know what? We were in an industry
Yes.
that was accepted and acceptable.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Because I worked in the county, you know, like
Right. In West County.
in West County, yeah.
Yeah.
Suburbia,
So.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it was
you just
different
didn't know
back
how
then.
big Matrix World was yet then.
No.
And
Well, that was my first touch, my 1st
Mhm.
experience
Yeah.
with it. And I, you know, obviously had come to terms with everything in my life at that point. Thanks, Pam. Just pouring that right out.
But what a gift she could give you as a 19-year-old in that situation, just to say, be yourself
Yes.
from her heart.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot
It
of
has
other
a lot more meaning
19-year-old.
for me now that I
Yeah,
have that other
yes.
component, because you only remember like the thing, you know. I remember being like, you got my attention, like.
Oh, I
wow.
know I did.
Yeah. Okay. So, like the time that you did, like I'm trying to think of like when we did not communicate, like verbally, was right when you were starting your family. You know,
Mhm.
it was the time when you moved from your house, your starter house to your bigger house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was that time, and you went out to St. Charles, a little bit further away.
Well, I had retired from the hair industry, and you were still totally entrenched in it. You were a salon owner,
Yeah.
you know, and I had just retired from that because we were opening our chiropractic clinic. We just had our, you know, my husband had just graduated. We were building a home, starting a business, second child. Life got really busy.
Yes.
And so there was space at that time. I always just look at it as space, so. But, you know, I just think about how much through the years that we just continue to connect and cross and communicate, you know, and just continue to create our friendship. Mhm.
And still got way more to go.
Oh, you got that right.
And
Absolutely.
just kind of the pauses like you're talking about, those times between when you weren't spending as much time together. I was thinking about that earlier, and there was a time I can remember, I don't even remember the time frame of how much time it had been when we hadn't spoken, but all of a sudden I got a call from you about your granddaughter needing surgery, and she was born
yes.
in her birth, and how she needed surgery, and it was just like it didn't feel like we were as connected at that moment. Then all of a sudden, boom, we were connected, and right away I could do the distance work on them, and I could help with that. And so because we've had that, but we hadn't been as connected because my son was playing college baseball. We were not as, we were just busy, like you said, doing other things, and maybe different from what she was doing, because at that point she had already moved away from St. Charles and was living in South Springs, and I was living in St. Charles. We weren't working together anymore. But when we'd have a class come up or something that I thought was of interest, we would always communicate that, say, hey, you might be interested in this, and we'd send each other funny messages and things like that. But for a while, there wasn't a lot of that communication for a couple of years. And I can still remember getting that call and just that boom, that instant connection.
That makes me think, when you just said that, she reached out to you when something was really important and she knew you could meet her need.
Right.
Because that made me think about when there was some space, that some of the connections, not all of them, but some of them came when something was happening for him important, like maybe a new person in his life or a career change, you know. Somehow, either I reached out to you or you reached out to me, and it was perfect timing.
Yeah, for both of us.
Yes. So.
And you go to the one who
you trust,
and that you know does want to be there for you when those things happen.
And I'll be honest, even if it hurts, right?
Well, that's like what I want people listening to this. Like, there's an intention for everything that we're doing here.
Right.
So I'm cognitive of that now, and I am present to this now. You know, when did we start doing our dinners? Like a year ago?
Probably.
So life's crazy, and months can go by, and you just don't touch base. So we created a little club. And the first Friday, I think it's like first Friday.
We shoot for the first Friday of
Sometimes
every
it don't always hit, but it's our marker. And it's there.
Yeah, that's good.
We pick a different restaurant with a different letter. So
A to
like
Z.
A to Z. And we go there and we just have an experience of her husband, I was her partner, was Dr. Carl, that was in our last episode talking about the nutrition, and my partner Carlos. We go and just have the best time.
We have really
and it always is it's something I always look forward to, and it's a commitment that we're continuing to consciously make that happen because we're present to it. And like, I am that now, but going through those 20, 30 plus years, I didn't have the awareness that I have now. I didn't know what that meant now. So my intention and hope is that somebody listening to this, maybe in their 20s or 30s, identifies somebody that's in their life that may be their forever friend and their bestie, and what that means, so that they could be present. I don't have any regrets, but if I could go back and do that again, I would be more present. I would nurture that differently, even though it's perfect exactly how it is.
Right.
But I wouldn't change anything. But you know what I'm saying? I would just treasure it more.
Sure.
Yeah, like I do now.
Don't you think, though, sometimes the treasure comes after time?
Possibly.
You know, because I mean, you were exactly where you were supposed to be. I mean, yes, I recognized that you were journeying and that there was this depth to you. I mean, I personally consider myself a relationship intelligence person. You know, it's one of my intelligences. And, you know, I discerned that you were designed for more. I wanted to be a part of that. Really.
That's beautiful.
So,
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that is so true. It feels the same way. Because when Marilyn decided to start the Peace Place, I was like, I want to be involved. I want to help. And so there were a lot of different ways that I knew. I said, I want to carry your suitcase. I want to help paint the wall. I don't have to be the one doing everything, but I want to be there to support and to be part of this community, because it's such an amazing community that you've created. We've all created. And one of my clients went to something at the Peace Place, hadn't been there before, and said, I saw some things there that I thought really reminded me of you. And I was going, yes, because I
You
I
were
did.
splattered
Yes,
all over.
I
the
gave her some of the
beach
artwork and
Oh,
some of the things that are there.
You must have loved that that person said that to
Yes,
you.
I did. I
Oh,
did.
that's
'Cause
great.
it was today, and I just laughed because it just touched me because it was like, good, good.
Well, we
Yes.
had a whole day that you and your husband and me and my husband spent painting and cleaning and putting cabinets together, taking them apart. I
Mhm.
mean,
Mhm.
we spent the whole day, all four of us. It was really, really great. So, but when you were talking about your getting together for dinner, Mara and I set play dates, we call it. And
That's a new one. Haven't heard
Yeah.
that one yet.
Mhm.
Okay.
so, because we do energy play, energy
Okay.
work, and energy talk. So, every now and then, my husband will say, "Well, what do you got going today?" I said, "Well, I'm meeting Mara for lunch." He goes, "Oh, see you in the morning." And
We aren't usually that late.
And he's totally okay with it. He loves it that I have this friend who he knows when we get together, we just can't stop. We
Yeah.
just keep talking and playing
That's
and
really
having a great
special.
time.
It is.
It is.
It
It's
is.
very special.
Yeah.
You know, I just grew up listening, and so many people before me, when they would talk about friendships, they'd say, "Oh, you only get so many in life, and if you have one or two, you can consider yourself rich." And it's like, I never really believed that, because I thought whatever you put out is going to come back.
Yes.
And I really, really, I feel proud that I have continued to nurture
Yes.
my personal relationships with different people. And I mean, I've got a lot of different really rich relationships. And I gotta tell you, I think part of that being the desire of my heart got affirmed. I'm somebody that's lost a lot of people in my life. They've passed away from really little on. And I think there's some people that experience that from little on, and then there's other experience by natural progression.
Yeah.
And all I can tell you is there's the gift in what I'm talking about comes from I treat every person as if it's the last time I'll see you.
Mm.
And the gift in that is because of that practice, I have very personal quality exchanges with people. And that's just I take that very seriously. I do. I'm a professional friend.
Mhm.
That's what I decided.
You are.
Mhm.
But that's really powerful what you
Wonderful.
just said
Yes.
about, like, imagine being in life like that. Well,
Mhm.
you don't have to imagine you're doing that, but like, not everybody does that.
No, they
No.
don't.
Mhm.
And you know what? Actually, what's really interesting is if you don't know, if you don't embrace that, you can walk around really hurt a lot,
Yeah.
because you are right. Not everybody does that. Not everybody puts in that everything that it takes to have a beautiful relationship.
I'm going to challenge our listeners to,
Okay.
whenever they're listening to this, take on for 24 hours everyone that they meet, acting like that's the last time that they will ever see them.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And share their experience with other people. Like, let people know what that was like. Like, pass it along. Because there's the surface friendships, like I had
Right.
so many of those when I was growing up, and I thought that was, if you were invited to the party with the most amount of people, that's what the game was all about. And then as I got older, I was like, nah, I'm done with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I became like, I had very few close friends. They were great friends. I could count them for anything, but they were just, and I've pretty much my whole life I have a lot of acquaintances, a lot of people that I know, a lot of contacts that I know because of the businesses that I've been in. But the reality is I have a really close knit of tight friendships, and that's it.
Yeah.
This is talking about relationships. I can remember being in 4th grade, and I was not part of the popular crowd. Okay, and I've experienced, I don't think any of us are any different. I think all of us have the same of what anybody else has, just people have varying degrees of it. And I can remember wanting to fit in, and so I'm sure some of our listeners will remember this, some won't, but this is real. The bookmobile used to come to your school.
Yes.
Okay. And I can remember how they would call each class to go out to the bookmobile and get books. Well, I'm a ferocious reader. I just love knowledge. And I can remember going, today I'm going to look for a book on how to be a friend. I can remember that.
Wow.
And to this day, one of the books that I found in that bookmobile, and that I took home and I read, it said, if you want to make friends, remember people's names and call them by their name in conversation and a lot. And I am very good at remembering people's names and their faces, and love is in the details. And I will tell you that, because of that, to this day, I still practice that. And, as we're talking about relationships and as we grow, because there's different levels of friendship. And the ultimate is that intimate friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I'm finding as I age, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on the planet. Let's just be real here. I've lived longer than I'm going to live. And so one of the things I've been putting into my personal practice with people is, how often do you really look at somebody when you're saying goodbye to them or saying hello to them? Just really looking past what you see in front of you.
Wow, that's extraordinary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I love doing these. I love being blown away by what comes out. I believe there's something that's animating all of us, that's beyond us, that's speaking to people that we will never meet. And I really feel strongly that this is going to impact a lot of people and maybe look at life a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Remember somebody's name.
Yeah.
We'll look them in the eye.
Yeah. How about saying I love you?
I was just thinking that.
Yes, I say I love you to my friends now.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we don't finish a conversation about love you. I think today we both said love you at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's important for people to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's powerful to say.
You were talking about names.
Mm-hmm.
One of her kids, when I came to the door one day, said, "Mom, it's the lady with the talking hands." Because we had just taken a class called Body Talk. But it's so funny that they put all that together, and it was significant enough to them to remember that as if it were my name, you know. But I mean, they meant it with love.
Middle school age.
Yeah, middle school age was saying that, but it summed up what I did. And we had just taken a class, I think it was Body Talk or something.
Yes.
And so that's why they were saying "lady with the talking hands."
Yes.
But she knew who I was.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so
that's
again,
Mara.
it was the name, but
how
the kids
sweet,
actually came
though.
up with that.
What a sweet
Mhm.
observation.
Absolutely, and that's the same kind of thing, an observation about something that appearing to be that insignificant, and they were able to turn it into something that touched me, touched her, touched them.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thank both of you guys for being here today. It was great getting to know a little bit more about your story and how it's all kind of connected. And
And you too, Pam. It was wonderful to meet you.
Thank you as well.
Yes.
Really nice
Wonderful,
to meet
thank you.
When I first met her tonight, I said, I've really heard some really wonderful things about you. And she said, and I have also heard some really wonderful things about you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
both
you
for
all.
being
I
here.
love you all, and
Yes.
this has really been it's been incredible, and thank you for sharing that. And I'm going to take that on tomorrow and see how long that's going to, I'm just going to keep going with that, because it's just that really you
That's
impacted me
brilliant.
again. Like, that's really powerful to, and why not? Because it's actually the truth. Because
I
we
really
don't
love
know.
you too, Michael. I can't even begin to tell you the things that you've put in, have given me in my life. So
I'm glad we decided to do that this lifetime.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah, there's some. I know one of the things, just real quick, and that is I once sent a card to somebody, and I'll never forget that. You know how many cards, how many people remember cards and what they. But this card said, "I thank God every day that we got to be on the earth at the same time."
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, because
Me too.
you just never know.
Well, thank you.
Exactly. Thank you.
It's nice to meet you
Yes,
too,
you
Mara.
do. You do. Thank you. Have a new friend.
Yes.
Namaste.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.